SCP-096, one of the scariest SCPs in the Foundation, is famous for reaching just about anyone that remotely looks at its face. Whether you're on a plane or in a submarine on the bottom of the ocean, chances are the shy guy will find you. But what if we trapped it in an alternate dimension? SCP-3001, for example. Would it manage to escape? In this SCP Exploration episode, we try to answer this question. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of our upcoming Exploring SCP videos, as soon we are checking out more interesting SCP-106 experiments. Also, in this video we will be referring to our What is SCP-106 video, so definitely make sure to check it out if you haven't already. The first logical thing to do would be to look for such an experiment in the SCP Wiki, but unfortunately we don't find any. If we check out the SCP Sandbox Wiki, however, the wiki where one posts his or her entry to be critiqued before posting it on the official wiki, we find something similar. In a document called SCP-096 Termination Log, SCP-106 is shown a picture of the shy guy, which results in them encountering one another. As expected, the old man drags the shy guy into his pocket dimension, and the two of them aren't seen for another 27 hours. When they finally return, SCP-096 is covered in 106's black mucus and appears severely injured. And even though this test is in the SCP Sandbox Wiki, and therefore isn't technically considered to be canon, it appears consistent with both SCP's abilities, so we find it believable. So what do we learn from this test? Well, first off, we need to say that, as discussed in our Who is SCP-106 video, the old man was originally a scientist called Dr. Scranton that turned into an anomaly while in SCP-3001. And because of this, we believe that his pocket dimension is either SCP-3001 itself, or is a very similar alternate reality. So without knowing it, we probably made SCP-096 go in and out of SCP-3001 during this experiment. There is one problem, however. SCP-106 is in full control of this pocket dimension, as stated in its wiki entry. Given that the two anomalies exited simultaneously, we can assume that the shy guy managed to escape as a result of SCP-106 bringing 096 out, and not because the shy guy managed to escape. And whether SCP-096 would be able to exit on its own is the question we are trying to answer in this video. We will have to begin theorizing, however, as once again the most interesting experiments haven't been conducted in the SCP Wiki. So first off, how would we get SCP-096 inside SCP-3001? Quite frankly, we don't have many options. The first one would be to once again use SCP-106 and hope that the old man decides to leave it inside the pocket dimension this time. And we would need to assume that 106's pocket dimension is in fact SCP-3001, of course. Maybe a bit too many assumptions for the SCP Foundation's taste. The second option would be to do this in the same way Dr. Scranton originally entered it. Problem is, this happened on accident and no one is known to have entered the red reality ever since. So how did the doctor get stranded in 3001's emptiness? Well, we can't know for certain, but Scranton was testing a device called the Lang-Scranton Stabilizer when unexpected seismic activity damaged the machine. In SCP-3001's wiki entry, it is stated that this led to the creation of a Class C broken entry wormhole, and that such wormholes can be created by the aforementioned machine. So with a bit of SCP magic and a lot of engineering, we could theoretically be able to control the creation of such wormholes using the Lang-Scranton Stabilizer. This means that if we situate SCP-096 in the same testing chamber, with a bag on its head for example, we could safely transport the shy guy into the parallel dimension. Whether this is actually possible is up to debate, of course, but for the sake of this video, let's assume it is. Now that we've successfully moved SCP-096 into SCP-3001, the first thing that comes to mind is to trigger it by viewing its photograph and see if it manages to return. The first question that arises is if the Shy Guy would even realize that someone saw its face, given that they're in different dimensions. Such an experiment has never been performed in the SCP Foundation, but given the fact that SCP-096 is an anomaly and telepathically senses that someone on the other side of the planet has viewed its face, it would be reasonable to assume it still finds out. So the Shy Guy starts raging and looking for its target, but the D-Class is nowhere to be found. What does SCP-096 do when it realizes it can't reach its victim? If we check out the SCP-096 vs SCP-682 experiment, we get a rough understanding. During this test, after fighting each other for more than 27 hours, the two anomalies both stop attacking. The indestructible lizard is heavily injured, and the Shy Guy appears to be very upset for an extended period of time. This, together with the SCP-096 vs SCP-106 experiment, shows us that when unable to reach or eliminate its victim, the Shy Guy remains disturbed but recovers after some time. This means that it is unlikely that SCP-096 would forever run in circles and scream inside SCP-3001. But let's answer the main question: would the Shy Guy manage to escape? To help us answer, we will briefly go over how Dr. Scranton managed to escape the Red Reality in the first place. But something important that we need to note: not only the Doctor, but also a recording machine, the so-called Red, was transported into SCP-3001. The Doctor first tried to find an exit by traveling in the same direction for months, but soon realized the pocket dimension is endless. His wife, Dr. Lang, that had worked alongside Scranton on the machine, continued their work on her own and successfully recreated a portal during a test. But as Scranton had long lost the recording machine on his quest to find an exit, he couldn't travel through the portal as it opened right where the portal that stranded him in the first place closed. Decades later, after having degenerated past the point of what we would call human, the creature, now called SCP-106, successfully created a portal back to the office where his wife worked, using the anomalous abilities it gained during its time in SCP-3001. So what does this mean for our SCP-096 experiment? Well, if the Shy Guy stays still while inside the pocket dimension, we could use the same method Dr. Lang used to return the recording machine to successfully return the Shy Guy into our reality. So we've created a complicated, unreliable method of temporarily containing SCP-096. But what if we leave it there? This leaves us with two scenarios. In the first one, SCP-3001's degenerative effect would damage SCP-096, but the Shy Guy would retain its properties due to its incredible resilience and regenerative capabilities, and due to the fact that, as far as we know, SCP-096 isn't capable of teleportation or reality-bending properties. This would mean the Shy Guy is trapped inside the pocket dimension indefinitely. This sounds like an excellent result, but the second option is the one that probably deterred the Foundation from attempting this experiment. Let's not forget that SCP-3001's anomalous properties turned an ordinary human into the feared SCP-106 anomaly. So if SCP-096 degenerates and mutates, just like Scranton, it would receive the same capabilities that SCP-106 possesses. Just imagine SCP-096, an entity that becomes unstoppable when triggered, that can also drag people into its pocket dimension and reappear where it wants to, that can degrade its containment cell, walk through walls and sense when someone viewed its face. Combining SCP-106 and SCP-096's properties certainly sounds like an XK-class end-of-world scenario, and this is exactly what could very well happen if we transported the Shy Guy into SCP-3001. So in the end, this experiment goes to show how containing the Shy Guy in the Red Reality Something that sounds so promising on paper could lead to devastating results. Good thing the O5 Council is very careful about the experiments it approves. This is the SCP Foundation after all. This concludes our theory on the SCP-096 vs SCP-3001 experiment. So do you think the shy guy would manage to escape? Let us know in the comments below. Please make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, as we have many more interesting SCP videos coming up in our top 5 SCP series, and soon we're exploring more hypothetical scenarios about SCP-096. And as always, we will see you in the next video.